Yo, what's up everyone? Sag here. We're back. What's going on? How y'all doing? And the first thing I want to go over is I got on the leaderboard. Pack 4 Smelly finally made it, so that means this is my golden pack only account. We're just going to go over a couple of games that I played to get to the leaderboard, as well as my stats and whatnot. I know that, I've been away for a bit, and I was still playing, mostly asyncs, just because you can play them whenever you want. I feel like it's very, very easy to climb that way because you're not having to waste so much time like looking for a game. So I feel like that's probably the way to go. That's what I did for a lot of the later half of climbing, because like up until about 1800 you can find games rather quickly, but after 1800 it becomes way more difficult. So playing asyncs was the best way to do it, and I did a mixture of same pack as well as all packs. So let's go over one of my games, or let's go over a couple of the games. So I was actually on like a super huge win streak. A couple of these games were against Rurihan as well. We just played like asyncs together. But I was on a huge win streak to be able to get on the leaderboard, which was very nice. Again, some of these are against Rurihan as well. But a couple of the games that I want to show off is this first one. A lot of the last games I played were actually against Unicorn packs, so you'll be able to see how well Golden does against Unicorn. And I think that'll be pretty good to note. What is going on with the servers? Oh my god. This is against Freets, so a good player for sure. You don't know exactly how the Unicorn matchup is going to be, so I mean you can't really go like too hard with it, but we're going to start from turn 3. So I got Baboon. He got pretty decent here. He got Brain Cramp and Mana Hound, so he was beating me a lot in the early game, and I think that Unicorn excels pretty well in the early. It's just going to be a lot more difficult like in the mid game. I think their mid game tempo is not that strong as opposed to like Golden Pack, especially when Fig is unlocked. You know me, I'm the Fig master, and snipes do like insanely well against Unicorn. They have so much trouble. It's like actually crazy. So if you could see from that like final picture or whatever, I had 5 Figs because I feel like you just fig all over them, and it's like really hard for them to deal with. Like I'm already down 3 hearts, so it's looking a little bit dire, but like I've played a bunch of Unicorn, like it's going to be hard for him to get any better than this, I almost feel like, especially for, coming into turn 5 and 6, whereas I'm just going to like explode in power, which is what I'm already doing here. Baboon is just great for turn 3. I get a lot of stats that way, and I know it's pretty hard for Unicorn to deal with a bunch of stats until they unlock like Sea Serpent and whatnot. Just other stuff like that. Kraken is really important, but Kraken's not going to do too well here. We don't have that many stats. So I buy my first Fig. You already know me. Buy Cockatoo. It's beautiful. And then I'm like, well, might as well buy this other Fig. Normally I'm looking for lettuce when I'm playing Golden Pack, but I feel like I knew that the Figs were just going to be so much better. So we come into here, like, yeah, you can see that he's not doing much. He basically just has to keep buying, what's it called? Wall Chicken to keep buffing with Unicorn. So he's got to spend a lot of money and rolls to do that. Whereas, like, I'm getting passive scaling from Baboon. I'm getting active scaling from Cockatoo, buying more Figs. Yeah, especially if I like, yeah, I'm just freezing another Fig. Because I don't, like, I haven't decided that I want to put it on anything yet. But I knew that I was going to buy it. I knew for a fact that I was going to purchase it. Yeah, I decided to go double Mana Tea this turn, which was kind of nuts. But I didn't want to put Fig on my Mana Tea or my Squid because I felt like, it was... I still wanted to get my Cherry proc, if not for at least the weakness to get the 1/1 Golden Retriever. But it's all working out, so we're back to even again, and it's just going to be harder and harder for him to deal with the stuff that I'm getting. Wolf is actually just, like, insane against Unicorn. I feel like a lot of summons are just really good against Unicorn as well. They have a hard time dealing with it. Like, yeah, they might have a couple of snipes, but if you can get a bunch of summons out, like, I don't they don't have, like, a lot of ways to deal with it, unfortunately. So, yeah, now we're triple figging on them. Yeah, and see, like, look how powerful this wolf is. Imagine if I had, like, Secretary Bird or something. Like, Secretary Bird just goes absolutely crazy. You have so much tempo. Now I'm deciding here, like, what else do I want? And I mostly just want more figs, which is funny. End up finally replacing the cherry for the fig there, because I feel like it's not really worth it anymore. I probably should have just done it earlier, but it ended up not. And now this is crazy, because normally this is, like, really stupid. Like, this would not work against very many other packs. But yeah, he tries to pull Loveland Frogman in here, and it's like, that's just not going to cut it. He even has all of this, but again, the wolf is so good. So incredibly good. Amazing breakpoints for me. And it's looking like this is going to be the last turn. Get rid of my Manatee, never found at level 2. And then just put another wolf inside of Beluga with another fig. Just so dirty. And basically just look for level ups and whatnot now. But yeah, Unicorn has a really, really hard time. I think I was probably around like 2030 in this game, or 2040, something up there. And Freets was only like in the 1900s. Playing on his main account too, so he's not afraid. But yeah, just like, if Loveland Frogman's not dying, all of the jump pets are dying. So it's just, it doesn't fucking work out. Alright, and then I have this game against Big Mole, which is Fluffo, and this one was a nail-biter. I think we're going to start from turn 3 again. This one was an absolute nail-biter. Like, it seemed like I was going to have such an advantage because, like, the early Guinea Fowl, he's trying to go for a Wharf build, which is, like, really, really strong, I think, in the mirror. And, like, Guinea Fowl is just going to disrupt so much of that. But it turns out that Fluffo's been in the lab because he was cooking up a pretty interesting counter to, I think, a lot of the problems that Unicorn has. But again, it still fails to live up to, like, the snipers. Snipers are just so powerful against Unicorn, and they have, like, virtually no way to protect themselves. So here, like, I don't have, like, an extremely strong board or anything. I don't have a level up on 4, like, so it's looking a bit rough. I even go for a Stoat, save my Fig, of course. But I figured that I could just out-tempo. Like, I think that's my main game plan. For a lot of it is just try to tempo as much as I can. He gets an early Kraken here, which is really good, but the snipes are very unfortunate, and it's already 6-3 on turn 5. Yeah, give me that baboon. I just decided to get rid of the Stoat so I could get Bab in. We go double Fig off the bat. I freeze a third one, because this game is immediately after the Freeze game. So I was like, well, I'm just going to spam Fig again, and that'll probably work, right? No hits on my Guinea Fowl, which is okay, because we're still going to end up tying here. But yeah, I want to see, I can't remember exactly when he starts to pivot into the very interesting board. It might be this turn, because it's turn 7. He has the ability to get... No, he didn't get it. I'll just spoil it then. It's Chimera. So he goes with a very interesting Chimera build, and I think it works out really, really well for him, to be honest. I think he had a very, very high chance of beating me. I got pretty lucky, though, especially since I won so many of the early rounds. I was able to basically just go crazy. Again, I already have 5 figs. It's turn 6. Oh, and he gets it. He gets it here. So the Kitsune Chimera with the full mana Wharf build seems really, really good. So you'll see it in action here. We are able to immediately kill off the Chimera, so he's going to have to buff the health, which is why Figs work so well against them. But even here, so it goes all the way to here. He's on 1 life now. 1 life. And I'm saying that he still had the chance to beat me, which is crazy. 5 Figs, not enough. So I just figure, like, I don't really need much of anything. I can just kind of, like... Again, I'm still thinking that I can just go crazy. was looking for a tier 5, end up going with Crane, which is kind of weird. It's the one being buffed by Baboon. But this is the big part. I wonder if I lose because I sell this last Fig. But he is able to buff the health here and actually get it to 1.5, which means it's a level 2 with Gingerbread Man. No, it would have never killed it. But this is the big problem here. So he gets all the mana onto this Chimera through Kitsune, and then he's actually able to start beating me. And I'm like, ooh, this might be a little bit of a problem. Like, I need a better sniper to be able to take out either the Chimera or the Kitsune. One of them before these three, I think, was my biggest thing. I even freeze Highland Cow here because I'm thinking like, oh, I just have enough life to buff it with Baboon to go crazy. But then this turn really shows me that I don't know if I'll have enough time. He's starting to buy like summons too. Normally you don't have that many summons for Unicorn, who's actually like utilizing it really well. I think he's been practicing against all packs, which makes a lot of sense. And what I was really looking for was Cobra. Like, that's what I wanted the most. I even didn't buy this Highland Cow because I was like, I want to roll a time or two to see if I can get, like, Cobra, German Shepherd, something like that. And I end up finding the Cobra, which is amazing. Now I can have Baboon buff it. We go straight for that. I freeze a Slug. That's perfect. And now I'm like, okay, well, I have 4 life. I should be able to, in one of these, surely I'll be able to snipe one of these two. Eventually. We get to waste a trigger there. And as you can see, I'm getting rid of my Figs now because I think the Figs are causing a bit more harm than good. Getting a lot of mana for his Chimera. Level 2 Kitsune. With all the mana he's already getting from Wharf, it's just like, it's really, really good. I was really impressed with this build that he was able to come up here to try to beat me, especially. I think if he had like another life, I might have just lost, like straight up. And this time I was going with, well, maybe if I go off first, then Cobra has a higher chance of killing the Chimera or the Kitsune here. He does have the rock with the Wharf, so he's getting a lot of snipes off too. Didn't even hit my pita bread, which was kind of crazy. Yeah, still 29 mana. That's going to be a little bit too much for me. Then we get into turn 13. This might actually be the last turn because level 2 Cobra is so much stronger than level 1 Cobra. Twice as strong, would you imagine that? So like now I have like actual snipe damage going. I still have 2 life too, so maybe I wouldn't have been... No, I would have been pretty worried if I lost here. But this right here is just absolutely insane. So this is a 617 Kitsune. It's very unlikely that it is going to be sniped and killed. This one's a lot more likely. We even lose a Slug there. 1 hit Kitsune, 2 hits to Kitsune. Automatic win, as well as the Melon blocking out the 18 damage from the mana shot, which was just absolutely crazy. I would have been pretty tilted. I don't even know what the calculations on that were, but they had to have been low. And this, I think, was the final game to get me on leaderboard, which was pretty lucky, I would say. No, it was actually this game. I think I was like really, really close after this one, and then another one of just like Secretary Bird with a bunch of Fig spam was able to pull through for me. Pretty nice to finally get on the leaderboard. You know, I feel like for a while I tried to. So like when ranked first came out, I tried for a while and it was pretty upsetting. Like I kept getting more and more upset. I was playing pack 1, I think mostly at the time too. Just I was playing on mobile a lot too, which I think was like messing me up. And then I uninstalled off of mobile because I was like, I really just need to be playing on my computer. I'd play a lot better there. And so I did that. And then I kind of just stopped playing ranked because I felt like it was making me worse at the game, like 1v1 in general terms of 1v1s. So I would normally just hit up people in the dojo to play instead, like asyncs, kind of like what I do with Ruihan all the time. And that, I feel like, made me a better player. And then And then I started playing a lot of Golden Pack, and I was like, this is pretty cool. Let's just make a new account to play Golden Pack and try to get to leaderboard. And I did that for a while, and I made it to, I think, the high 1900s, and then I peaked at like 2030, and then I lost a bunch of games and fell back into the 1900s, and I was like, man, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. And then Unicorn came out, and you couldn't really play against all packs anymore, so like that delayed it in a while. And then this patch finally came up to fix Unicorn, and I was like, okay, well, I can play against all packs again. And people were playing Unicorn, and they are just much easier to beat, you know? No offense to them, the pack just isn't up to snuff right now. And, you know, people are still learning it and whatnot. So I was able to sneak my way on. In 444 games, this isn't even, like, real either, because I probably have over 100 games played, like, this account was from the Golden MOTD, like, months ago. All my async games with Rurihan, like, all my Team Tour games with Golden Pack. So, like, all of this isn't even from Ranked, which is kind of crazy. So I probably only have, like, 350 games or so in Ranked, 293 wins. Let's go over my most bought pet. So I think Possum is the best tier 1, all the way down to Bulldog being the worst. You can still see I buy a lot of Bulldogs, surprisingly. I still try to use them when I can. I think these 3 are the best by far, though. We're just going to go over, like, all my stats if you're wondering how I've been doing so well on Golden Pack to get to the leaderboard. I think these 4 are the best. These 2 because they're just, like, incredibly strong feints. Lizard is just super strong tempo, great summon. And then African Penguin, you can just buy a massive ton of them. I feel like I can't really buy these ones as much. I think I Doorhead Ant a lot if I have Beta Fish, Sea Turtle if I've got Lizard or an early Osprey, and then Gazelle really if I only have Magpie Weasel. So, like, it's kind of hard to figure out a time to get it in there. Of course, Babussi is going to be my top on tier 3, followed by Flea, Beta Fish, Weasel, Osprey, all the feint pets, of course. I think Flea, of course, is the best of the feint tier 3s. I mean, it does everything, of course. And then Flying Fish down here at the bottom, I just tend to not use it as much. I think I've been sleeping on it a lot, though. I still think all of these are good enough to buy. Go to tier 4, of course, it's going to be Sea Lion, followed by Cockatoo Secretary Bird. Like, honestly, a lot of the tier 4s are just amazing, except for Vaquita. I feel like Vaquita has the hardest time fitting into the build. Like, you really want to have, like, either a big guinea fowl that's level 2, or like Nyala Chocolate Cake. Like, you have to have something set up pretty well before you get it in. Whereas basically all these other ones you can just kind of take. And then, of course, you have the primo ones, Scaling and Insane Tempo. I think PDF should probably be higher. I think PDF, Falcon, Slug are all, like, amazing too. So the tier 4s are just so good. All of them are so good. That's why tier 4 Lotto is very nice. Of course, we have Bro up here. Almost as many Belugas as Bros, which is kind of crazy because this is, like, such a buy-sellable unit. And then, of course, we have Nyala. Stuff is going to be slightly skewed with Beluga because you just buy Belugas and put stuff in it. And then, of course, you have the hardest time buying Silver Fox, Egyptian Vulture, Nurse Shark. You have to have, like, stuff already pretty set up for it. Egyptian Vulture is even harder to use because, like, you have to have something set up for it, and it has to have stats to be able to kill something, or, like, a Fig, or chocolate cake. Like, and then, like, do you even want to chocolate cake this? Like, it's so tough to use. I feel like I should have more Silver Foxes, too. Money, dude. Fucking money. And I've been using a lot more emus, just because Eggplant doesn't exist anymore. It's a lot more possible. Wolf and a Fire Ant seem low, but a lot of them are going in Beluga. Let's be real. And then tier 6, Oyster is finally overtaken. I must have bought a decent bit of Oysters within my last few games because it is over Warthog. But of course, I put a lot of Warthogs inside of Beluga. And I think Bear, Cobra, dude, the snipers. Like, the snipers just get shit done. So these have to be up here. And then, of course, Wildebeest, Catfish, Highland Cow, all pretty fucking bad. They're just really, it's really hard to find a time to use them. And then Pteranodon, mainly with specifically Nyala Chocolate Cake. We go here. I buy a lot of apples, of course, 418. Cherries. Oh, dude, lettuce, 740. I'm a lettuce eating machine. 332 figs. I actually do not buy very many avocados. I say this a lot. I would realistically only ever buy avocado on turn 6 or turn 8. I think coming into the like next tier up is basically the only time that I do it. And I feel like that's worked out for me quite a bit. We've got a decent bit of waffles, banana, potato. I think those all pretty even. Of course, chocolate's going to be the highest. And then I use pretzel. These are all pretty even too, even though these are pretty bad. But yeah, that is how I made it to the leaderboard. And, I'm going to keep trying slowly but surely, see if I can make it up. I think, I'm already at 2059. I mean, that's not too much higher to get to like third, especially between like fifth and ninth. Like the places are so close. I would only need to win like 1 or 2 games, especially if I played somebody who was already up here in the 2000s. But yep, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Politely smack that like button's ass on your way out. And you know what? Have a wonderful day.